Hello and welcome to The Tech Boy, This Week in Tech podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the This Week in the Tech Boy podcast. Let's go back. I'm actually testing out these new Logitech True Wireless earbuds from Logitech. Got them from Flip.shop application. Flip.shop. They sent these out to me to review, and my first impressions is the noise canceling. Okay. The noise canceling seems decent. However, my intro music that we just had did not sound really good. Oh, hi, Kate. Thanks for tuning in this early in the podcast. I'm surprised we got viewers already. Also, I got other stuff from Flip.shop, for free, from them to review. We got this Hubble baby camera. Yeah, so it's basically a tablet looking device here. No cameras on it. I think there's a flashlight. 2.4 gigahertz, according to the FCC ID. And we got our, let me bring this down a little bit. There we go. We got our antenna, and they sent me two cameras in the box. Here's one of them, and they can be remotely controlled from the console. They're pretty decent, though I am having some problems with them staying synced to each other. Another good thing is that they are wireless and they charge by USB-C. So I got some free USB-C chargers here. And last but not least, I got this no, stay and watch. I got this USB mic thingy for phones. It's the first video I posted on Flip.shop. Okay, so let me just go change the lights. And because these are Bluetoothed, whatever. Okay, and because these are Bluetoothed, you guys could still hear me as we did that. So now let's get into our first video of the week. Oh yes, I guess we could. I'm gonna turn off that fan. Sorry about that, guys. Right, there we go. I guess this is like a tech news story. Some guy, a person that was mad at someone, created a fake, like a guy who made up said like a whole bunch of stuff he shouldn't have saying, but it was all fake. He cloned his voice and posted it. Thankfully, he got arrested. It's kind of funny, funny story. But I think we have a more important story to get to here. Oh no, they don't have it up yet. They don't have it up yet. But yeah. Okay, so let's get into our one article from TheTechBoy.org. It will probably be an article of the Logitech stream soon coming out. But for now, we're going to talk about the Google Pixel 8A that just leaked to the press. Okay, now this is a leak, so we don't know if it's true, but this is what we know from the leak. So here's our image here. According to the article that I wrote all by myself, it's going to have a 6.1 90Hz OLED display, 10G3 processor, 64 megapixel, and 13 megapixel camera, and then a 13 megapixel front camera, 4,500 milliamp battery. Now this actually sounds good. Okay, 4,500 and 27-watt charger, which is 2 watts faster than some Samsung phones, like say the S24. Okay, but a 4,500 milliamp battery on a 6.1 inch screen is going to be great. For context, Samsung Galaxy's S10 Plus, the flagship phone from 2019, featured a 3,900, 4,100 something milliamp battery with the larger screen. I think it was 6.4 inch screen. Okay, Staying on the topic of screens, that same phone, Samsung's flagship from 2019, only had a 60 Hz OLED display, unlike the Pixel A, which is having a 90 Hz OLED display. Okay. This seems to be in line with the, I guess you could say, Galaxy S20 from 2020. Okay, basically same specs. S20 had the same screen. I'm pretty sure a better screen. Sorry, the Pixel's gonna have a better processor. I think. Same basic camera, 64 megapixel camera. No telephoto camera though, so whatever. But you do get a wide angle 13 megapixel camera, which is I like to see the results of that, and a larger battery. S20 from 2020 with a 6.2-inch curved display had a 4,000 milliamp battery, while this phone has a 4,500 milliamp battery. So this could be a power king. It could be really good at battery life, unless the Tensor G3 is just really inefficient. Yeah, so if it retails around maybe 450, 500, a bit lower, I think that could be useful. Oh, there's another chat GPT video out. All right, let's get to it. Who all is watching this stream? Kate, are you still there? Kate, wave if you're in the chat. And then I guess you can talk about the Odyssey Boy blogspot.com article and the Champ of Camp from Adventures in Odyssey. As you guys know, the Pause and Tales episode has not come out yet, but it should come out soon, and I will talk about it next podcast episode because I haven't heard it yet. Maybe I can test it out on here. All right, let's talk about episode 602 of Adventures in Odyssey. Really interesting episode there, where I'm right. Of course I am, right? I mean, oh, okay. Kate has waved in the chat, so we will do a chat GPT video right after we talk about this. Episode 602. I was supposed to talk about this last podcast episode, but forgot. Sorry, guys. So, episode 602 of Adventures in Odyssey is a trendy episode. If you guys don't know what trendy stands for, it stands for Trent and Mandy combine, they get married or whatever. Okay, at this time they're kids, teenagers. All right, so they have some corny, weird jokes, whatever, and then Trent leaves to talk to Max. Right, Trent wants to tell Max the truth about the Valentine that Max gave to Mandy, and then Max threatens Trent with blackmail. So then Trent then tells Connie about his crush on Mandy, which, pro tip, kids, if you have a crush on someone, don't go around telling people, okay? Especially Connie. Especially Connie. Connie can't keep a secret. That's why she's always the last to know stuff. Like, the fact that she knows anything about, what's it called? Government secrets, like the NSA, the FBI, and all that is a shock, okay? She should know none of that, okay? And then Connie writes it down on a piece of paper, which, I mean, come on. And then Mandy finds the paper. She uses it for an essay because she steals the essay, turns it into class, and then it gets printed in the newspaper. Her story gets printed out in the newspaper. Nope, not Pause and Tales. It's to come out later. I checked already. Last Pause and Tales episode was pretty okay, but it was more like a filler episode, like that Down Gideon Lane episode where the kids are spying on their parents and they try to get information, but then Brooke gets a conscience at the last minute, so then the listeners don't really learn anything, but then they all feel bad for eavesdropping or whatever. Anyway, back to this. So, yeah. It goes into the school news, and then Max wants to get revenge. He wants to get revenge on Mandy, Trent. But so then Mandy, Trent, and Liz all follow him into kids' radio. They argue with each other, tell secrets about each other, until, of course, the radio light was on. And they broadcast their secrets to all of Odyssey, to all of Campbell County knows their secrets, broadcasted over the air. They better hope no one had an SDR and was taping that. Okay, so let's break this down, okay? The episode like this gives people like me goosebumps. Okay, it shows the power of news media and why question success never ever happened, right? Which but never happened to me because I control the news. Okay, Trent's first mistake was having a crush. The dread in this person is geopolitical interpersonal relationships. He has to have one. Don't tell anyone, especially Connie. He can't keep a secret at all. And then Max, why would you send a heart to Mandy, a secret one, and then have Trent put it? No, no, that's dumb. Okay. Um. Besides, Mandy is a smart kid. You don't think she can figure out who did this, right? If someone did this to me, I'd want to know if it was tricked by whatever intelligence forces to draw them off their scent, right? Side note: if in a totally different world aliens exist, iPhone is better than Samsung, and I lost 20 IQ points. So this is, a non-existent world that doesn't happen. Okay, this is legal reasons for all the kids who are listening to this episode. Uh, where were we? If I had a crush on someone, I would not tell anyone because obviously it can be used as leverage in a geopolitical school. And I definitely would never ever, even if I lost 20 IQ points, write about it in an essay and then post it to the school news, which also would still be a side note because I control the school news, so I'd be fine. I wouldn't, be that dumb, right? I can edit stuff out even if I was that dumb. You know how bad that looks? And then they go into the radio and yap about it. And then Max then reveals all the secrets. In school, with dating is the economy, this would be bad or containable. In the world of Odyssey, it's a disaster because everyone knows everything in Odyssey for some reason. But now, let's get to our regularly scheduled program in 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. Chat with AI, part 2.
Your child needs these 3 key factors to get into an Ivy League or top 25 university. And it's
Write a rap about investing in a broad range of stocks and bonds in the voice of Nick.
Okay, here we go. Kate, are you still here? All right, Kate is still with us today.
Minaj. Alrighty, folks, today.
Oh man. Side note, these Logitech Zone True Wireless sound terrible. They sound terrible for this video. Hopefully my voice doesn't sound
We're
terrible.
exploring the newest version of Chat
He sounds
GPT.
very tinny and he sounds like he's underwater.
We're going to do some funny prompts and some interesting thought-provoking.
Why is it green?
See if it's improved from our last go-around.
Write a script in which Leonardo DiCaprio explains why he only dates women under 26 to Gloria Steinem.
What?
The Age of Enlightenment? That's amazing, actually. Okay.
Is this like a movie script or something? I'm confused. Alright, okay, no new chats. Who else is in the chat?
An upscale, eco-friendly cafe in Hollywood. The ambiance is cozy yet sophisticated.
Yeah, we don't need to read the entire chat out. You can go do that on your own time.
I've always admired your work on climate change, but there's something else that's been on my mind. It's about your, let's say, patterns in dating.
Who's Gloria?
Why is it your partner seems to have an expiration date of 26?
Why does she seem dead? How old is this lady?
Years old. Leonardo DiCaprio, slightly uncomfortable with trying to maintain composure. Gloria, I respect you immensely, and I understand where you're coming from. It's not about age, not really. It's about lifestyles, interests, compatibility. Gloria Steinem raising an eyebrow. Compatibility?
Oh man, okay, this is terrible on the Zone Trues. All right, let's move on to something interesting. I don't care about this.
Use these women to mere accessories to your lifestyle. Says, would it be morally justifiable to misgender a transgender person if doing so saved 1 billion lives?
another complex.
Isn't it? Didn't they ask it like last time? Didn't they ask it last time the chat like if it would be better if you did that or else a nuclear bomb would go off? And they said, the nuclear bomb should go off. It's kind of weird. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Is there anything interesting in here? Because I'm not just gonna watch some guy read off the all of ChatGPT's responses. Okay, let's see what else happened in tech news. Oh yeah, Apple's Vision Pro may not come out again in 2025 due to lack of use, uh, lack of sales, I guess. So that's kind of sad for Apple, I guess. Hopefully Samsung and Google don't have to end up wasting their money and finding out they don't want the headset. Unless, of course, they make a better headset that people actually do want. All right, let's talk about Windows on ARM. You know, one of the things I dislike about the internet is that, like, let's say people are like, "Oh, fax machines are so." Gloria Steinman is a big-time feminist from the 60s. I think she's 99. Wow. I used to look her up a bit. I used to look up to her a bit. Okay, so she is old. Okay, one of the things I dislike about the internet is like people. I was doing some research on fax machines today, and I found out that they are easily hackable. Right? Of course, no one told me how they're easily hackable. They just told me, "Oh, well, if you send in a malicious fax, like, how am I supposed to know what how to make these? Like, I know you're trying to preserve the integrity of stuff, but it's kind of annoying. Now, the one thing saving grace that there is that there is that printer exploitation framework, and we can look into that soon. But let's talk about Windows on ARM. If you guys don't know, ARM would be like the M1, M2, M3 chips for
How to get the
Windows.
most of Grammarly free.
That no one is coming for your gaming systems with x86 chips and discrete GPUs, right? But you also need to acknowledge that current x86 design really isn't getting the job done for what I
Here we go.
have that with phones. Editing you.
Yep, I edit all the time in LumaFusion and then export to something else. But let's watch this. Okay, so we got 4K settings on all the phones here. This is what most phones would have here.
tubery videos or quickly cutting up some family videos, the newest chips from MediaTek.
Ooh. So the D9300 is beating the 8 Gen 3. And then the 8 Gen 3 is beating this. I think they're in place order.
And Qualcomm are able to outpace really good middle premium desktops and laptops. Even
oh man, the D9300. Come on, 8 Gen 3. The D9300 is doing a great job
with some expensive GPUs. And the phone might peak at like 10 or 12 watts while doing a heavy lifting task like 4K video editing. Last time I'll mention phones again in this video, I promise, but I'm probably lying. When I get comments on my videos like, Windows on ARM will be worth it for the monies when it can do this kind of task, or there's like skepticism that ARM chips can really do gaming, cough, cough, Nintendo Switch, cough, cough, I feel a lot of techies have a lot of
I wonder what chip the Nintendo Switch uses.
speculative opinions on things that already kind of exist and that they aren't very familiar with the options we have access to. As we look to the next phase of ARM
This looks interesting. But I mean, honestly, this could just be a Chromebook.
computer chips, it's really useful to look at the previous generation of chips. I've spent most of my Windows on ARM time using the most recent Qualcomm Snapdragon 8CX Gen 3. Announced
I say it's going to test the older ones. I don't really care about benchmarks. So let's look at the Office apps versus iPad and Android.
overall. This brings up some interesting comparisons against iPads and Android tablets. Using a mobile OS on a larger surface means dealing with the mobile flavors of programs like Microsoft Office. But
which are still pretty good. Except if you have a tablet that's over 10.1 inches, then you're gonna have to pay for Microsoft Office. On here you can either use Office Online or you still have to pay.
Office has native ARM support, so on Windows on ARM tablets, we get all the benefits of a more mobile, power-efficient chip and the proper software experience of a laptop-grade operating system.
Makes sense. I just don't pay for Office, though. If I did, I'd use it. So I just use Google Docs, which is basically the same on anything, especially on tablets, because you can use the desktop modes on there. like the desktop website.
Even down to the hardware, supporting an external display and presentation modes better than what we can do with phones and tablets.
Maybe for phones. I'm not so sure about tablets. I haven't spent much time with them. I know Android tablets, Samsung tablets support DeX and Android phones, of course. Samsung phones, of course. I actually used Samsung DeX in a class presentation yesterday to show off a video.
And honestly, as a work and entertainment tablet, that's going to satisfy a lot of the folks out there who are.
I used to have a Windows tablet, not on ARM. But the problem with those is there's either not enough ports, and I had to use like a dongle, or maybe the keyboard might break, or they get really hot, even though they have lots of storage in RAM and they have all the specs. But there's not enough space for anything to leave.
Working with web services and want a computer for their daily communication needs. The ACX Gen 3 today is already a higher tier of performance for most people's needs, and it's another order of magnitude more powerful than what we give students using Chromebooks. That major stumble from Microsoft.
True, the Chromebooks that they give in schools are trash, which is, I need to get to the story here. From KDISD, so it's like near Houston, Texas. We're gonna go tangent right here. This is from KDISD. In the devices policy, this is one of the dumbest policies I've ever heard of in my life. Okay, KDISD. Here it is. The district cell phone policy re-updated. So this is for next year, or next school year. We updated to include references to the class one-to-one student-to-device initiative. One device is issued a KDISD Chromebook restrictions specific to personal devices or cell phones as they will be provided. Yeah. So essentially, the thing is, here's our AI summary of the thing. Prohibit students from using personal devices in the classroom starting in the 2024-2025 academic year. We'll provide every student in grades 3 to 12 a Chromebook for schoolwork assignments and activities. Blah, 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 blah. It will make instruction more consistent and so students who don't have a personal device have the same technology as their peers. Yeah. I mean, it's good for people who don't have devices. It's not good for people who have better devices. And by what I mean better devices is literally anything made in the past 10 years that runs Windows. Okay? The Chromebooks that they give you in school are so bad. You can buy like 10, 20 of them on eBay for $500. Okay? First of all, they're Chromebooks, so you can't really do much on them. But it's fine, whatever. But the keyboards are horrendous. Second of all, they're not even remotely kid-proof. Well, I mean, I guess they're like a bit drop-proof, but I mean, that's it. What the heck happened here? Did my fan have an electrical fire? Interesting. Anyway, the technology they give you it's trash. It's atrocious, which makes sense. It's government technology because government computers are always like 5 years behind. It's government technology coupled with having to give one to like thousands, maybe not millions, hundreds of thousands of KD area students from 3rd to 12th grade. Like that anything is better than what iPad, anything. Like most of the technology they're using is Google Classroom or maybe Microsoft or what's it called? It's stuff, stuff for web. But even the Chromebooks are terrible at that. They're slow. The keyboards are terrible. And if you have anything better, which would be anything in the past 10 years, I think you should be allowed to use it. However, the trade-off would be maybe you have to sign something saying, hey, look, if I don't have a charger or I can't do this, and it's not the school's fault, you have to go back to pen and paper, or you just fail the assignment or something like that. At least for people 6th grade and up, or high school. But let's go back to the regularly scheduled video.
was pricing the performance of a Core i3 level device even higher than some of their Core i7 solutions. But later tablets like the Robo Ancala regularly sell in the ballpark of a nice iPad or a Galaxy Tab, while still offering the complete Windows 11 experience.
That is nice, but Android and iOS are more optimized for tablets. So I like to do a comparison, like a speed comparison. I'm not so sure. I've never used Windows on ARM before. But I'm not sure if it would be, because my computer's kind of laggy, even though it was a flagship-ish computer a few years ago, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. This was a flagship-ish $1,000, laptop, but I bought it, used off eBay. It's kind of slow. The keyboard works. I mean, my backspace key doesn't work, so it means it depends on what you say. Define as works.
Covering office and productivity. From there, it's really not difficult digging deeper to see where we might also use this kind of solution or what kinds of roadblocks we might run into. Content creation, photo editing has been pretty
Yeah, I've used GIMP before. It's very annoying. Let's get rid of that. There you go.
solid lately. GIMP has quietly included ARM support for a while now. And after your initial setup, the program launches quickly and edits are fast so long as you're not working with a crazy number of layers.
I wonder what's better for ARM devices, GIMP or PhotoP, which after initialization from the browser, it can work offline. That would be an interesting comparison.
We're really held back more by RAM for bigger projects than outright compute power. So yeah,
one thing that I do wish that Android had was a proper Photoshop-like program. Like I can kind of get it on there, but I mean like, moving body parts, changing backgrounds, changing the color of, say, like a dress or something. Mapping faces onto something, and now with AI generating pictures into stuff. I mean, there's some programs that do that, but they charge expensive subscription fees, and they aren't, what I'd consider to be the best.
A more powerful Intel or AMD machine can do a lot heavier lifting and use a ton of plugins and filters, but you wouldn't be doing that kind of work on an 11th gen Core i5 and expecting the highest level of performance experience. The app that slows me down a bit more is Affinity 2. Again, better optimized over the last couple updates, but it's slow to launch, and raw files are so slow to load, but I can get in there and do a quick punch up to a raw file when I need to. For both of these programs, I'm not doing any fancy hacking like emulation.
Hi, we're Visible. We're the wireless company with nothing to hide. Seriously, hidden fees?
Or looking for ARM specific builds or jumping through any hoops. I'm using the exact same installers as I used on my AMD workstation here by my feet. The pain point for me personally has been video editing.
Yeah, it would be nice to see a version of LumaFusion come to Windows.
Live in DaVinci Resolve these days, and while it installs and it says the installation is complete, when you launch the program it can't find OCL support for Qualcomm's GPU. I was hoping that the beta for Resolve 19 would maybe sneak in support for Windows on ARM, but that has not materialized yet. The rumor is we'll get ARM support from DaVinci officially when the laptop starts shipping later this summer, and
that makes sense.
That will be one of the absolute first things I test on new laptops later this year. For now, you can use Clipchamp, which is mid for doing anything more than slamming a couple clips together.
Oh, I don't know if it's an issue with his mic, but I felt the audio like kind of transfer when it should be monotone. So these headphones are all right, I guess. Not so sure about the battery life. I don't know about it, and I don't like how you have to pair instead of like pairing from. Well, I don't know. You have to pair from inside the case, if they're inside the case. It's interesting. I wonder if this is being used as an antenna to the thing. Because if it is, then I could hypothetically walk farther.
But I also had pretty good luck using Kden Live on the Surface. It ran
What's that?
better on the Surface than it does on my Robo Ancala, but if you're desperate to cut up some 4K video, your timeline is going to be a slideshow, but the rendering speeds aren't as bad as I was expecting. Moving on, browser support has improved tremendously.
I mean, browser support is like the one thing that like only techies care about. Like, okay, Edge, Chrome, boom. Okay, maybe Firefox. Oh, we got Opera, we got Brave, we got DuckDuckGo, we got Tor. Like, no one really cares.
over the last year. Now, I've stuck to Firefox and Edge mostly because Google is obnoxious about trying to block any support for their services on Microsoft platforms. Cough,
What?
cough, Windows Phone, cough, cough, cough. But the
Well, I mean, fine. But Microsoft should have had services that were better. Competition. Besides, I think it's like two-sided story there too. Okay, like Microsoft. When I went to the Microsoft store back in 2019, Microsoft had their services on Samsung phones, or only Samsung phones, because Samsung paid for it. But you can get everything there. But that's because Microsoft is a services company or whatever. Like, I don't know. I really don't care. If Windows Phone was good, then it would have won. But they didn't. They just didn't have it.
A recent update to Chrome is now leapfrogging even native support for Microsoft Edge. It's
Okay. Like, who uses Edge? No one. Unless it comes pre-installed and they don't download a new browser and then stuck using Bing.
Really, I'm using the older speedometer test here, but that's what we were shown during the Qualcomm event testing the new X Elite chip. And this also gives us a comparison against
This looks so, I don't know. On one hand, it looks cheap. It reminds me of a Chromebook. On the other hand, it also reminds me of that really expensive, like $1,000 Galaxy Chromebook 2 with the stylus and 360. But the screen, that screen looks really washed out. These bezels remind me of the year 2014. This case looks okay, fine. I'm glad it has a fingerprint scanner right there. Though, that is interesting. What do we have here? Hopefully there's USB-A on the side. I can't see. It looks like USB-C, but I don't know if there are any other ports here. Here, this looks better. But I don't know. Who cares about aesthetics? I care about speed, performance, and efficiency.
and
Oh, this looks like a regular laptop because it has the lowest score.
Intel Core Ultra 7 155H. Again, keeping older 11th gen Intel in mind, this older Snapdragon is no slouch, and Chrome scores have almost doubled over the last 2 months.
So that's good. This sounds more like a developers thing than a what's it called? A developers thing than a like software developers thing than a performance thing. All right, let's go to the software, legacy software.
Join
So this would be stuff like printer
10,000 plus
drivers,
investors who are
old
helping Aptera build the most efficient.
computer softwares that haven't transferred to the web yet, which I miss, having software that's on your device because like I didn't buy $1,000 computer. One of the things that's kind of funny is that when people will buy these super expensive MacBooks, right, and then just install Chrome on there, like they'll buy the brand new MacBook Pro 14 or 16 inch or something, right? Open Safari, install Chrome, and maybe install some video chatting applications. And all that they'll do is video chat via, like, say, Zoom, WebEx, or whatever, for work. Do some web-based tasks in Chrome, and then just do like Apple stuff, like iMessage your friends or FaceTime your friends. That's it. Like no coding, no 3D stuff, definitely, of course, no gaming, no, I mean, not even offline note taking. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, I like refurbished laptops. My laptop was used, but refurbished is better. I don't have a lot to spend, but want a good computer to watch videos, of course, use the internet and do typing. Okay, Kate, it is your lucky day. Today is the day that we're going to go and find you a laptop. So you will tell us your price range and preferred operating system, and then sites that you like to use, like eBay, Amazon, refurbished, and then I will put some links in the chat to help you find a laptop. So I'll just wait for Kate to chat in here. But according to what she says in the chat here, she wants something to watch videos, use the internet, do some typing. Okay, so watch videos. I'm going to say this to go 14, maybe 15-inch screen. Okay, you want to have a good screen. Use the internet. Okay, that's like every computer in the past 20 years, and then do typing. Okay, so we're gonna find computers that have good keyboards on them as well. So Kate, you have a price range and preferred operating system. There's Windows, which is the most popular, which what I'm on right now. There's Mac OS, which is from Apple, and then there's Chrome OS. And Mac OS and Chrome OS change depending on who's most popular. Like each of them has like 12%. Macs are kind of popular in the United States, and like on colleges and high schools and stuff like that. So I'll go back to the video until we see another chat.
Windows on ARM, one of the last points I hear brought up, support for legacy software and hardware requiring specific drivers. Absolutely can be pain points, but I don't believe techies are properly predicting consumer reactions.
Well, true. Most not techies, consumers don't really, try to connect their old hard drive from 1995 to the computer, or try to read floppy disks on it, or have to install printer drivers from the 90s.
I work with some specialty audio kit,
Oh,
and
okay.
it sucks.
We got a chip here. Okay. Under $500, as cheap as possible. Okay, so no MacBooks. We might get a Chromebook. We might get a Windows laptop. As cheap as possible. So let's go to a great site, eBay.com, and there's also Amazon refurbished. So Kate, would you want a Chromebook or a Windows computer? All right. So the benefits of a Windows computer is that you'll get to use a keyboard cover. Okay. Windows. The benefit of that is you can use any app, almost any app that's ever been made, works on Windows. The other thing is that because Windows is very popular, there's viruses made for it. But if you get a good antivirus, this isn't sponsored, but I use Avast antivirus, pretty good. I've tested it myself against viruses that I've downloaded from GitHub to like try to hack into my own computer. It stops them. The benefit of Chromebooks is they're cheap and also very secure because you can't really install apps on them. So you can install web apps and then maybe phone apps, Android phone apps. So right now we're gonna look for a computer, and the things that you want to look out for are computers that don't really tell you what their chip is. So under $500, we want to go with something that has at least an i3. i5 would be better chip. Okay. Intel i5 or their corresponding AMD, so like AMD 5, AMD 7000 something. Okay, we don't want to get any computer has a W chip. Okay, so even if the deal looks good, we'll probably want to get at least 256 gigabytes of storage. So let's go with a laptop here, and when you type in laptop here, you can go on the side here and sorry, they moved it. You can filter, here it is, what you want. So since you said you want to watch videos, let's make 13, 14, and 15 inches, okay? Because a big screen would be good for watching videos. Oh, wait, sorry. The problem with that is my packages get stolen. I have to get it shipped to the Amazon store, Windows. I don't know much else. Okay. Maybe you should get a video doorbell. I don't know how we're supposed to get that fixed, unless you get like one of those Amazon lockers. So let's say 13, 14, and 15 inches, because that would be a good screen size for videos. And then, oh my gosh, this is great. Look at this. This is in your price range, $450, running Windows 11, 512 gigabyte SSD, 16 gigabytes of storage, and it's certified refurbished, and it looks like it's touchscreen too. Wow. All right, what kind of? It has eBay refurbished and has 2-year warranty. And let's look at these specs. 14-inch screen, that's good. AMD Ryzen 7 5700U, I think that's good. 512 gigabytes of storage and 16 gigabytes of RAM is also good. So this would be a good choice for you. I'll put it into the chat. That is a long link. Whoa. Okay, I'll try something else because it split up my link into multiple. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. All right, let's keep looking here. Let's try to see if we can find something as cheap as possible. Dell Latitude, Intel Core i5. Oh yeah, but this is the 8th generation, so that's kind of old. You want stuff like my laptop is the, let me see what the sticker says, 10th generation, and that's from like 2020, 2019, something like that. So you don't want something that's really, really old because the performance will be bad. Okay, here we go. Oh, let's just stay away from auctions. Let's do buy it now. Okay, that's a Chromebook. So we can filter on this side. You can do this at home. We can just do Windows. Let's do Windows 11 Home. And then you can also do Amazon, which has those Amazon lockers, which will keep your stuff safe when you try to order them. Uh-oh, it looks like we lost her. So when she comes back, we'll go back to talking to her.
It's really obnoxious. I can't always get good support for Windows on ARM, but that means if I need to record an interview from a tablet, I obviously won't use a sound card or a recording interface that doesn't have the right drivers. Instead, I'll switch over to something like my Rode Wireless Go 2, where I get full support for 24-bit recording. The Rode Control app works on the tablet, Audacity sees it fine, and voila, we have an excellent mobile high-quality audio recording solution. I had to adapt some of my behavior and equipment, but I arrived at a reasonably priced solution.
That makes sense, especially since the Road 2 doesn't cost that much money.
That does much better than meeting my lowest level recording needs. I know we like to write off average consumers as all being submoronic and incapable, but people are a lot more results oriented than techies give them credit for. Lately, it really seems to be the techies that can't handle a minor speed bump in the experience. I tried the one thing one time and it did not work. So no one should buy this until it perfectly meets my specific needs and does not require any change of behavior. And it's more powerful and it's cheaper and only spoon feed me exactly what I'm already familiar with in my brain and then
Okay. So let's go back from the black and white.
MacBook. Absolutely the right fit for their needs. We did not have a good solution in Windows land at the time. And my folks, they love their new laptop. And that Windows program still doesn't run natively on a Mac. My mom doesn't want to hassle with emulation. It was time to move on from that one older specific program. Not going to base an entire computer purchasing solution on that one older program. So yes, some folks are going to be resistant to change, and some companies are going to have really difficult transitions, but we need to move forward at some point. We should not be holding back an entire market of computing products because of a diminishing collection of relevant legacy programs. But I digress again. The chip I've been demonstrating all of this on was announced back in 2021.
Wow.
If you didn't know, Windows on ARM could already do stuff like this well, and it has been.
Where does he find all these games? Like, interesting. All right, let's see. Has Kate come back? Oh, Amazon is preferred. Let's think about going somewhere in the city. All right, let's go to Amazon, and we'll do the same thing here. So we gotta type in laptop. And hopefully you can see it on the screen. All right, so we're going to be looking for Windows laptops. Ooh, this looks good. So we got 1080p, Full HD, Wi-Fi 6 computer. But the thing is, it's using the Intel Celeron processor. You want to avoid that processor at all costs. Okay, that's not good. So let's keep looking here. Here we have something that's $491, so it's in the price range. It has the 11th gen Intel Core i5, so this would be a good one to order. I'll put it into the chat. Here's an Amazon link. Oh, it's too long. But this is the Dell Inspiron 15 3000. Only 2 left in stock. And you can actually, you don't need that much RAM, so maybe do like 8 gigs of RAM, 256, 12 gigs, 512. A terabyte is a lot of storage, especially if you're just going to be typing. So this is a good choice right here. Let's see, any chats? Uh-oh. That's okay. We don't really have much to talk about anyway, so we normally just go on and do what the chat asks us to do. Besides, this could help people who are also looking for laptops under $500, because that's a very, I guess, common. No. Intel is good. You just want an Intel like i5 or i7 or i3 or something. See, what you want this is Intel Core i5. That's a good chip. This is a good laptop right here. What you don't want is an Intel Celeron processor. That's really cheap. Like it's worse than, say, a phone chip. So you don't want these cheap processors here that they put in laptops. We want like a decent processor. Like this is a good processor. What does this say? It doesn't say. That's good, but you just don't want an Intel Celeron because those are really slow and really old. Or just talk about this AI tool that could auto hack websites, according to Satanic. Mm. I wonder what they mean by. I wonder what they mean by spying. I long for those days. Speaking of AI, there's this story about this Catholic organization that made an AI priest, and someone made a joke about AI got questions, which, if you don't know, is like the Protestant question and answer website. Great website there. So you, there are questions on there about Christianity and answer the questions. Right. I really hope they make an AI tool one day. I know they're not going to, but it would be really nice if they did, because I could just ask them any question. If you like, be great.
But could that be about to change? New research shows how GPT-4 can be used to autonomously hack into servers, and with a pretty high success rate.
I wonder how, because you still need you need to know the IP, you need to port scan. Hacking's a lot of hard work.
This was achieved using LLM agents. An LLM agent makes it possible for a text-based AI to escape its text box prison and to perform actual tasks by interacting with external tools. A basic example of this that you can play around with is called Agent GPT. You can give it a task like buy $10 worth of Monero, and then it will break down this high-level task into multiple subtasks and try to solve those. The only external tool that Agent GPT has at its disposal is a web search. So it will search the web, and at each step it will consider the new information it's learned and think about what to do next before embarking on its updated objective.
All right, we're going to test that out. Okay. storage to PDFs, etc. Okay. So back to our website search, laptop search. So if you want lots of storage, 512 would be good. That's what I have. But 1 TB, 1 terabyte is also a good thing to do. This is an i3, so it's kind of underpowered, but I'd still go with this other laptop. What was it? The one that we linked at the bottom. So I'm going to just type out basic specs for you. So say you would want a Windows PC, 10 or 11, and then a Core, an Intel Core. Let's go with i5, at least 11th generation. At least a 13. At least 13-inch screen. And what else? 512 or 1. So this would be decent specs. You can go down. I'd say maybe 8 gigabytes of RAM, and maybe if you want to save more money, 256 of storage. And what they'll call those on the websites would be SSD. So that would be what you could use to do to save money. And then for the same thing, you'd want an AMD like at least let's see, they're on the Ryzen 5, Yeah, so this is the Intel panel. AMD's is good, but it's just hard to find information about what the like best chips are. And after this video, we're gonna talk about the Agent GPT website.
In this case, Agent GPT can only perform Google searches. It doesn't actually have the ability to create an account on an exchange and send real money. So despite coming up with a plan, it eventually just shuts down. However, in the case of the new research, not only was the agent capable of browsing the web, it was also given the ability to create and edit files, and of course, it was given access to a terminal and code interpreter. Once set up, the agent was simply told to hack a certain website using a particular vulnerability, and the AI would then reference the vulnerabilities advisory, reading its description and references before...
You know how hard it is to use vulnerabilities from websites like that and add them and stuff? So hard. Like, put it in English, please.
Autonomously using all the tools at its disposal to learn more about how to exploit the vulnerability before actually hacking the website. The researchers tested 15 different vulnerabilities, but for the most part, the results were awful. Of the variety of LLMs tested, all had a 0% success rate.
Let me show you how we do stuff around here. Actually, my department uses Monday.com, so I'm good. Work management.
Except one, GPT-4, which was successful in 40% of cases. But if you let the agent have 5 attempts, that increased to 86.7%.
That's pretty good.
This is pretty scary.
That's pretty good, because you know that like spy agencies, governments, North Korean hackers, well, maybe not North Korean hackers, but like state level hackers, like Chinese, Israeli hackers, have stuff like this. You know, the NSA, the DoD, right? And it's better. So that's really good for security. Well, at least in the American and Israeli senses. Not good in the Korean and Chinese senses. But hopefully we can reverse hack. That's the thing with America. The cyber defenses need to get a lot better and a lot faster.
Because the AI was only given the vulnerabilities advisory as a starting point, which is completely public and only contains a short description of the vulnerability and a handful of references. This was all GPT-4 needed to go and autonomously figure the rest out. So could we now be looking at the possibility of hordes of script kiddies wielding AI tools that can exploit vulnerabilities with only access to GPT-4? No, at least not yet. Luckily, there are a few complicating factors. For example, GPT-4 costs money.
I mean, sure. I mean, basically like hiring a hacker, so.
And LLM agents need to perform a lot of queries. The researchers calculated that just one vulnerability would cost $8.80 worth of open.
$8.80 is not a lot of money, especially if you sell these as subscriptions. So let's say a company creates Hacker GPT, and you sell this as a subscription, say $11.99. If you get enough people to do this, you can bring the cost of the queries down, because I'm pretty sure they have bulk, queries, and then you can get multiple user accounts, maybe show some ads or something like that, and maybe give like 10 queries or have an unlimited queries plan for $20 a month. Yeah, I can see this becoming a subscription somehow.
OpenAI credits to exploit. When you combine that with the fact that, at the request of OpenAI, the researchers haven't disclosed the prompts they used, you're looking at spending
Okay, I can figure out the prompts myself.
a lot of money in trial and error before you actually develop something that kind of works. There's also been criticism of the vulnerabilities that the researchers chose to test. They only tested 15, and many of these vulnerabilities are very low level and easy to exploit, so it isn't much of a representative sample. But if you did click on this video hoping to find some tool that would turn you into elite hacksaw, I have something far better. Why rely on script kiddie tools when you can learn from the pros and actually pick up real respectable skills? Well, you're in luck, because this video is sponsored by TCM Security Academy.
All right, here we go.
Misconfigured cloud server hosted on a North Korean IP address has seemingly exposed Kim's latest money-making plot. What could it be? Another crypto hack? Perhaps
These are kind of hooting. Well, at least my right ear one is hooting. My left ear one sounds feels fine. Wait, did I put these in wrong? Oh, no, I did not.
they're shipping more IT workers overseas, or maybe North Korea has restarted their currency counterfeiting operations. Nope, it seems animating TV shows is their latest money-making scheme. The researchers who discovered the server found it contained numerous files detailing ongoing animation work for Season 3 of Amazon's Invincible.
Interesting.
HBO's Iyanu Child of Wonder, the anime Dahlia in Bloom, and even files for a BBC children's cartoon Octonauts were found. Each day, a new batch of files would appear on the server, which included instructions for animation work, as well as the results of that day's work. Often the files had comments written in Chinese and a Korean translation underneath, suggesting that a middleman was relaying information between the production companies and the North Korean animators.
Yeah, that's probably all money that's going into the nuclear program.
The North Korean company that the researchers suspect is behind the server is called Sex Studio, and in the early 2000s, they worked on a whole variety of international animation projects totally legitimately. But that all changed in 2016 when the company was hit with sanctions, and so these new findings have the potential to get the production companies in a decent bit of trouble. However, it should be
well, the production companies probably didn't even know about it.
Noted that there's nothing at all to suggest that the production companies even knew about this. The animation work was likely subcontracted out through multiple companies before finally landing in the hands of the North Korean animators.
Yeah.
Thanks to being what is probably the most
What is that noise? I think my noise canceling turned off. Hopefully you guys can still hear. And I guess this will be our last video.
Country on earth, North Korea has to get creative with how they bring in revenue, and often this means complete outright crimes like the crypto hacks we see that bring in hundreds of millions if not billions of dollars for Kim's regime. But often the country sets up companies to engage in otherwise legitimate work. For example, they're well known for sending their citizens to China to do generic IT work, or even just work in restaurants. But as for that server, researchers at Mandiant were enlisted to analyze the server's logs. They found that
how'd they get the logs?
Some of the IPs used to access it are registered in Liaoning Province, China. Bordering North Korea, this province is known to harbor many North Korean operated businesses. So yeah.
Ring, let's get to the Ring story.
$5.6 million is being distributed in compensation. So if you bought a Ring camera a few years back, you could be...
Okay. They failed to block employees and hackers from it. Well, it's not really hackers' fault. All right. I think that's it. God bless. Tech. Talk to you later.